Abstract 2, start stream, refresh, and let's see. Oh, we live. So not yet. We are live. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let me share that here. Perfect. So welcome. We are live. Welcome to Spredict Live. Great to have you here. If you are joining us, watching on X, on YouTube, on Abstract, Twitch, welcome. Great to have you joining us for what is Saturday morning for me and Saturday afternoon for our guest Kiba. And we'll introduce him and hear a little bit about some of the work that he's working on with his team. And then, as we do for all UFC Fight Night previews, we will grab 4 of the bouts. We'll talk a little bit about those fights. We'll make our picks, and then we'll see who is right and wrong, right? And have the opportunity to talk shit, because that's good, right? We want to be able to do that. So I'm Fred Endy. I'm one of the founders of Spredict. We are an evolved PredictFi platform. We're built around 3 key components. One is that we don't see ourselves as a casino, right, or a sports book. Instead, we are a subscription service, right? Think of kind of like the Netflix or Spotify of predictive gaming, right? So you join us, you subscribe to our various sports and non-sports categories that we have. You make your selections and play in monthly games, and hopefully you win. And even if you don't, you have fun because you're playing against other people, right? No playing against a Vegas line or algorithms or anything like that, right? It's all about community. So the second thing that sets us apart is our games are a little bit different. We have some added elements and features that make it more than just a pick the winner style game, right? We want anybody who uses our DApp to be able to think strategically, right? And play a little bit differently than what you might be used to. And the third piece, we want to make our games work for you. So we customize our prediction pools, build them for other projects and lounges. And so if you want to engage your community, right, and get people talking and playing against each other, we're here to help you do that. And so that's kind of the Spredict portfolio and why we exist and what we do. So Kiba, I'm going to turn it over to you. Introduce yourself, talk a little bit about the hub, some of what you're working on.
So first things first, thank you so much, Fred, for allowing me to join this live. And I'm definitely going to be joining every week on this UFC Fight Nights because UFC is the shit. I'm allowed to swear on this, right? I bet. So, so basically, everyone, Wagwan. My name is Kiba. More people in real life will probably know me as Joseph, but Web3, so my name is Kiba Joseph. I'm one of the founders of the Hub. The Hub is basically specialized in growth management and scaling Web3 projects. We specialize in KOL marketing. We specialize in create. We have a creators program for any creators, low to big creators, to come join. We will do specific programs with them with specific projects. We do Web3 and Discord community management as well. And we also have incredible crazy spaces where there is no fluff, no bullshit, no knee pads, none of that stuff. And we basically talk real shit, what is happening in the Web3 space called Unfiltered, with my boy Hanzo and Hendrix, of course. So thank you so much for having me, and let's talk business.
Uh, so I want to ask you a couple questions about the hub, if I can, Kiba,
Hit me.
before we get into some picks. So talk to me about, you when you were talking a little bit about Unfiltered, right? And I know that you had one of our co-founders, Max, on too, right? And joining to talk open conversation about the space. I really appreciate that focus, because one of the things that I think can happen in any type of environment, and Web3 is just one of them, where there are high levels of anonymity, where people don't really know each other, is that like the bullshit level can sometimes be incredibly high, right? So tell me a little bit about like what your goal is with Unfiltered. What do you hope that structure brings to the Web3 space?
So this is a crazy good question, and I would love that a lot of people ask me this question. So my idea of unfiltered actually came across because let's like I come from Web3 from 2017. I was here for about the second bull market as well in 2021 when everyone was there, and I was heavy in the trenches. One of the main thing that I've also kind of noticed is I've been with a lot of these KOLs from the beginning, and right now I'm also right now doing my own thing, and I decided to create the spaces because in the trenches, when you're with your friends, when you're with your close companions and your company, you're going to be talking real shit. You're going to be talking what is really happening with these Web3 projects. A lot of us are kind of sick and done and tired of KOLs or people with high voices to be sprouting nonsense and telling you stuff that is not going to happen. We are kind of tired of people saying that they're going to do stuff. And let's be honest, we're in the Web3 space. The Web3 space is a wild west, and in this space there is multiple projects that will come out of the blue saying they're going to do A, B, and C, but they will never stick to their words. They will just mint out. They will accumulate a bunch of funds from the community and then disappear out of nowhere and don't really stick to their words. So I created Unfiltered to just not only spout these nonsense and put it in to highlight all these projects that are not doing what they are promising, but also to bring in a much more realistic atmosphere into the space. Me personally, I'm a musician, I'm a rapper, I do music, I organize parties and this, that. So my attitude is a bit more rough on the edges, if I would have to say. The people that I surround myself with are also somewhat in the rough on the edges. And what I like about that is you're real. You get real questions. I would love to bring in founders and without kissing their asses or without begging for their whitelist or doing any, saying the craziest stuff just to get their attentions and just to be in good books with them. Just, I wouldn't want to do that, and I want to kind of bring in the most realistic stuff. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to also do this is because there is going to be a bunch of new people coming into the Web3 space, a bunch of new people. And I want to actually give them the realistic atmosphere of what is going to happen. I hate the aspect of we're all going to make it. Yes, we could all make it. But and really and honestly, someone is if someone wins, someone has to lose. And that's
Right.
the realistic atmosphere from it. So I need to kind of put everything into highlight and put everything on the table and let everyone know what is really going on and just say the real stuff on it.
I, yeah, I want to just chime in with you on that for a second because I, I think we can say we're all going to make it. The thing is, we're all going to make it differently. You know what I mean? Not everybody is going to make it as a multimillionaire in the Web3 space. You can't. Right? Simple market economics prove that that's impossible because when people make money, others have to lose it. That's just the way it is. There is no way around it. And sometimes all of the hype bullshit just causes people to believe there's a way for that to happen. It can't. However, I would say that people can make it in different ways, right? You can build rich connections, right? Even if you don't end up making millions upon millions of money, right? And you can also help the space grow in different ways, right? Start your own business, create structures that help to promote the good work that's happening here and learn from the experience, right? So I think what people need to do is shift their thinking and understanding about what making it means, right? It's just, we're not all going to make millions upon millions. That financial
100%.
side is not going to happen for everybody,
100%.
right? But people can take really positive experiences out of Web3. I mean, for me, I love it. My piece is right. So I'm 45 years old. I'm old enough now where I've had enough lived experiences to have gone through some great aspects in my life and some really like shitty ones, right? And so I don't have uh, the richest perspective in the world, but I have enough of a perspective to understand um, what what is true, what is bullshit and how to respond to it. And for me, what I love about hearing you talk about your approach is that what we can't allow to happen is allow the space to become even more fake, right, than it has grown to be. And so calling out the bullshit, speaking to truth is really important because there does have to be a level of accountability in the
Mm,
space, right? People have to recognize that if they say something, right, that there is a level of accountability to do it or to explain why you're not going to do it, right? I think we have two, um, the benefits of DeFi can be seen in a really positive light that benefits people, or like a negative one for scammers and grifters, right, and other shitty people. So the if people don't speak to that, if people don't call out good behavior, bad behavior, and help people like level set what it is, then people start to think some of that shit is okay. Right. And so I appreciate when people step up and speak to it and give people who are doing like good work the opportunity to share what they're doing and speak to what they've learned from it. So kudos to you for putting that together.
appreciate it. And I love the fact that you are actually pointing out all the important stuff about it because, like I said, I wanna without putting only these bad stuff into light. I want to also give this opportunity to allow other people to actually speak their stuff and actually come up with a good product to actually come up and actually share their product and without the fakeness that is going to be around. Because let's be honest, most of this spaces that you will see today or most of the stuff that you would see today, they're either going to be sponsored heavily, they're going to be either somewhat part of the cabal or part of the group, and some people would love to kind of see the realistic atmosphere from it. For example, when I did the spaces with Max, you're one of the co-founders of yours. um I ended up getting a bunch of messages on DMs on Twitter and everything saying, "Yo, we honestly love these spaces. We honestly need some more of these spaces because we're kind of tired listening into spaces and have a bunch of people just basically kissing ass the whole time and saying that everything is bullish and everyone we have to do this and we have to do that, and if you're not doing it, then you're just not going to make it. Not everything has to be super positive, and you're gonna have to bring out some stuff in the light. So definitely, this is one of the biggest opportunities that I wanted to kind of bring out, and a bit more of a different atmosphere as well. A lot of people would not like it. A lot of people would kind of fuck with it, but I think this will kind of mature the space in some senses because personally, and this was one of the questions I actually asked during the spaces, do we think that the space has actually matured? And I said, It definitely has not matured because you still see the same stuff happening from 2021. And with all that same stuff that is happening, now we have a bunch of people that are just scared to invest because they got rugged. They ended up getting bad experiences in the Web3 space. And now they're in the space scared to hold a product or to actually believe in a product when there's an actual good team behind it. And we're just hurting ourselves by not maturing the space and not actually bringing the real stuff out in the light.
Right. It's so true. And as you're saying that, it's also making me think a little bit. When I first, so I got into the space after you, after Max. It was after um, that bull run in. It was, I guess, 2017, 2018, right? And so I got in 2020, and as a what brought me in was I had heard about Doge, right? And so I saw the community, right? And I was a part of what felt like such a um, collaborative, connected group of people who were rallying around like fucking currency that had no value, right? It was just amazing to me. It was like such a mind blowing experience, right? Like, and um, it the space kind of sold me on the opportunity to connect, right? Like I'm a people driven person, and so I was just like totally sucked into people's stories and their experiences, right? And I think that is still what keeps me in the DeFi space. I just love meeting people and connecting and hearing their stories and learning about the work that they do. But what I've come to realize, right? Because I feel like if you're in this space for 4 or 5 years and you're still here, then you deserve a bit of a medal, right? And I mean, if you've been here since 2017, right? Like you're like a veteran, man. You know it all, right? So the the thing that has been fascinating to me is um, the the challenges you brought up. There's two ways to control them. One is that you like centralize it, which is like totally against the idea of the space, right? Nobody wants that, right? But we know it works because in real life, right? You think of like centralized banks, some of the shit that happens in the DeFi space could not happen in a centralized structure because of all the rules and regulations, right? But the other way you do it is you get people to be mature enough to behave like real people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to not treat each other like garbage, right? And to not make it about making a quick buck and then pretending like you weren't misbehaving, and that's the challenge. What I don't know, and we'll see, man. I don't know. I'm being honest. I don't know if the incentive to do the right thing, to treat people well, right? To all work together for something is enough to get people to actually change their behavior, and that it's going to be interesting, right? To see if the space can actually get there.
What I believe with that is what, like you said, no one wants this space to be centralized. Definitely not. Like
Right.
I'm also technically against it. Let's be honest on that one, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but the maturity is going to be in one way difficult, but in the other way not really, because I would say that it's going to be not only the community's responsibilities but also project's responsibilities to kind of push this narrative of we need to mature the space, especially in the NFT space, because right now I'm talking about the immaturity that's happening in the space. But when I'm saying that, I'm only really saying that in the small bubble of NFT communities or the Twitter communities that we're in right now, because I'm heavy into the RWA. I'm
Nice.
heavy. I'm heavy with the gamify space, etc. I work closely with Straight Fire currently as well as their main
Awesome.
partner, and I'm working with projects such as like Tilted, Ultra, etc. and so forth to just kind of build a little bit outside of the whole NFT space. And once you come out of that space and join other people in another sector of the crypto space or the Web3 chain, right? There is a whole different mindset and a whole new maturity in those spaces where they're not talking about, there's no bullshit there no more. There is people just like me and you who are just realistic down to the point, and they call the bullshit when they see it, straight to the point. Of course you're going to have your bad apples here and there, but
Hmm.
not as much as that you see in the NFT space. And I feel like especially in the NFT space and also in the meme coin space, there is so many people that is just coming out of the blue that is just, how can I say it with a grain of salt or not too rude, um with an attitude that they have never seen money before. Like they have never seen money before, and they just jump into occasion just to get anything they want, and trying to kind of grind their way to get what they want, and then just drop everything like they have never really believed on the space. And I promise you, I've seen people talk bad about one KOL, talk bad
Okay.
about one project, right? But if you get in a group chat with these same people all together, you see them ass kissing the most, and I'm like, walk on. What is this? Like, if you really
Right.
don't believe in the project, call them out, ask the
Right.
question, do what you need to do. But then, yeah, you get that fake people in there as well. So it's really like the space needs to grow by getting more mature people, getting more Web2 people, investors involved, like people that are very skilled into entrepreneurship, having their own businesses, already into the stock market. I'm originally actually a stock market person. I started my whole
Yeah,
investment
me too.
stock market. Exactly. And I've noticed all the people that I've seen that started with stock market stuff, and then all the people that I've seen jumping straight into Web3, there is a whole different mindset between these two people specifically as well. And
Totally.
and you kind of notice that the people that are into the stock market that started with stock market before they got into the Web3 space, they are more they got more time in their hand. They're willing to wait for the investment to flourish. They're willing to let the team work and do their thing. They're willing to ask the questions that needs to be asked on where is the money is going? What are you going to do with the money? Where is the investment? What is the idea of the project and how are you going to do these projects? And then when you ask a guy that is straight from the Web3, yo, bro, I'm bullish on you. Yo, bro,
When?
when let's fucking go LFG this that, and I'm like, literally, I remember when Abstract just started, right? And
Yeah.
what chat room was I in? I think I was speaking to Souls from Kabul, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I was speaking to Souls in a chat room. He jumped in the VC and he jumps in a chat VC with all of us, right? And I was just asking him questions. Out of nowhere, a bunch of people started joining the VC because, of course, there's a founder in the VC.
For sure.
Now that everyone wants to jump in, right? I'm asking him questions. I'm like, "Yo, Souls, look, I know my investments. I don't want to kind of fud this or nothing like that, but I want to ask you some real questions." I was just asking him questions on questions on questions.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where he respected me. He followed me on Twitter. We started talking and etc. and so forth. And I'm cool with Souls. I fuck with Souls. He's a good guy and all of that, right? But then in between when I was asking him questions, some other guy jumped in and is like, "Yo, I want to also ask a question." And then the question they ask is, "Yeah, bro, I'm very bullish on you. What, and I'm very bullish on you. This is gonna go to the moon. The next board ape." And I'm like, "Bro,
They don't even understand.
what's this? What is going on?" So I'm here getting frustrated. I'm like, yo, Souls, I'm following you back. We're going to have a chat another time and this, that. And
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go back to OCH, On Chain Heroes, and just chill there. Because I really good as well. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's leave it to that.
But to add to that too, it was amazing also, and I think you've got I think that's it, right? When if you have if you have stock market experience or if you have life experience where you've had to understand that a certain level of work results in certain outcomes and things take time, right? And you've really got to gradually work towards things. It provides you with a perspective that at least a significant portion of the space doesn't have yet, right? Because I remember, so Abstract goes live, right? And so this team, right, which has done so much and accomplished so much, right? There's so much that people can learn about cross like cross dimensional connections. Think of Web3, Web2 connections, right? And what they did with Igloo did with Pudgy Penguins, right? And building that entire structure. And so Abstract goes live, right? And within a day, people are like, shit, it's over. It's over. You know, like, and it's like, how do you like even if you're fucking around, right? How do you even and some people, of course, were doing it just to rib the team, but some people were really putting together these tremendous posts. And it's like, I'm sorry, bro. Are you fucking serious? What do you expect to
Yeah.
happen? Right? Like like honestly. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there like clapping, like this is great, right? You got things running, looks fucking great. And I'm reading some of these posts, like, what are people looking at?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
so it's crazy.
No, you hit it right. You hit it right on the nail because at this current moment, right, there's literally, and yesterday I was reading these posts as well. It got to a point where people are right now coming with a belief or so, saying if the project is an abstract, it's going to flop. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like it just started.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, bro. And then he's like, yeah, if it's not on normal ETH, it's not gonna make it. I'm like, what do you see as success? And this is what Kaito said this in our spaces as well. people see in the Web3, and this is a toxic mentality right now, right? People see success by the price of the floor price. And
Fucking
I'm like,
crazy. I
what?
know. It
What
makes
are you
no
talking about?
sense.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Pudgy Penguins was never 10E the whole time. I remember when Pudgy Penguins minted, and it was just there. Bored Ape didn't mint out for 2 weeks,
It
and it
took, yeah, yeah. So
yes,
people, the thing is, it's, oh my God, we're gonna have to, next time I'm out by you, we're gonna get a drink. We'll have a couple drinks. We'll hang out. I have to tell you, the, it makes me literally insane because, and I'll be the person sitting there in the back, like you, you get that price is one of the things that changes and fluctuates most regularly. And if you use price as a marker for success, right, you are never going to get a good sense of what a project or team has accomplished. And it's mind blowing. And it's all people gravitate on. Like, how can you look at a floor price as being a marker of success? It makes no sense. Look
phenomenal
at the,
going up.
yeah, it's, oh man. It anyway. Yes, I think that is, well. I love to hear that you, your community, the hub, right, are working to help get people connected with others in the space who have a space advancing mentality, right? Who are trying to help people see the positive side of what Web3 can do, and because this is an important part of what we're building too, who recognize that this space will only really grow in the way we want when we start to also bring in smart people from the Web2 space too. Because generally, unless we start to bring in people who have the experience of understanding how real businesses run, what a true financial outlook looks like for companies and projects, and how to interpret it, how you actually negotiate with people to form partnerships, right? The space is going to continue to feel like a bunch of like 6 or 7 year olds like swinging their lightsabers around, man. You know, that's what it feels like half the time. Uh, well, I appreciate it. I love the conversation. I'm looking forward to more of these. And can we talk a little fight night? We good? We want to dive into a couple of
Let's
those
go. Yeah,
fights?
yeah, yeah. Let's
Let's
do
fucking
fight night.
go. See, and I feel like this is something where I can be like, let's fucking go, right? This is right.
Exactly.
This is the part of the space where we should be celebrating the fun opportunities to connect. We should be looking at what people are building, right? There's no set price tied to this. We're just having fun, right? And that is so important in the space. So I am going to pull up. I'm going to pull up our DAP. Let me do that. I'm going to share it, and we'll get some pics going. So let me bring up my
You're clipping,
screen.
you're clipping this, right? This is all recorded, right?
All recorded. Absolutely. Yep. So that way, when I pick 4 out of 4, man, we'll have it on.
Yeah, 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 yeah. 'Cause I'm going to save everything because I was like, I need a good fix. I need some good picks.
All right. Let me share. Let's see if I can get that window. All right. Here we go. All right. So, can you see the DAP? Is it up?
Yeah,
Viewable?
yeah, yeah. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So, first, for all those of you who are new to Spredict and what we're building, this is what you're looking at is our DAP. And if you have never taken part, we would love for you to do that. You can go to dap.spredict.io, right, to make your picks. Right now, what's live is the MMA/UFC part of our DAP. On the left side, you can see we're getting our Formula One. You know, for those of you who are racing fans, right? Max is a huge F1 fan, right? I'm from the U.S., so the only racing that we know as like NASCAR, right? And that if I say to an
Oh,
F1 if I say to an F1 fan, oh yeah, I like NASCAR, they're like, no, 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 right? So, but I've learned so much about F1, right? I love it. I'm super pumped. I'm ready for the season. Great first Grand Prix last week. Can't wait to see where we go moving forward the season. And then you'll also see we have a crypto tab too, right? Because one of the things is we know that some people are huge sport fans, right? The two of us on right now are, of course, Max and Johan. My partners are too. But some people just like to predict and game and talk shit with each other, not about sports. And so we'll have non-sports opportunities to use our DAP as well, right? So one of the things that we've done with our partners um, at Abstract is we've gone and we have integrated our the Abstract Global Wallet. So whenever you want to make your picks, right, you'll go to connect my wallet, right? I'm going to connect via the Abstract Global Wallet, right? You go through a brief um, approval screen, right? And now you can see that my wallet is connected, right? And if you scroll down, we've got the past rounds up here. And one of the things that Johan, who is our tech lead, is working on is being able to see your past results, as well as um, once we open up purchases for our Spredict Pass, which will be our subscription pass, you'll be able to see your place on the leaderboard, right? But if you scroll down, you'll come to tonight's four bouts that we have set up, which Kiba and I are going to talk about. And the first one on there is what's the main event. By the way, this UFC Fight Night is over in the UK, right? Taking place in London, right? And so you'll see we've got a number of UK fighters, right, on the card
let's go.
for tonight. Let's go, right? So why don't we start with Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady?
We're
That
gonna
is the
we're gonna start we're
welterweight.
gonna start with the main card, or should we go the other way around? I want to do the
Oh,
other
you
way
want to go
around.
the other way? Fine. That's
Other way
hey, listen.
around, other way around.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm cool. All right. So why don't we start then? Let's start with the featherweight, right? That's down for those of you who are on our DAP. That's the last of the four fights. These fights all come from the main card, right? We've picked four of them on there to talk about. That final one, the featherweight, this is between Nathaniel Wood and Morgan Charriere, right? Wood is from the UK, Charriere from France, right? So we have like a across the channel battle going on now, right? Do you want to start, or you want me to talk about my picks first, Kiba? What do
Go
you
first. Go
what
first.
me? You want me to go first or you?
You go first.
Oh, awesome. Okay, all right. So let me give you a little bit of background on these two, right? So Wood's record is 20-6, right? Charriere is 20-10, right? In my opinion, and we'll hear what you think, Kiba. For me, neither of these fighters stands out as having a real advantage over the other one. Similar in age, height differential is fairly small. They both have similar significant strike landing percentages. I believe that Charriere tends to be a little bit better in like the takedown game, but I don't see it as a significant advantage for him. Vegas seems to agree. They have Charriere as a slight favorite. He's at 150. Wood, what can I say? Wood has had a solid last five fights. He's lost one of the last five. His most recent fight was a win by decision this past summer. The guy can take a punch. He can really hit hard too. He is a fighter who seems to be a little bit maybe more strategic. He's a guy who tends to go the distance quite a bit, with fights going to decision. Um, and it's worked for him generally. His four most recent wins, he's won by unanimous decision each time. Charrier is a different type of fighter, in my opinion. Um, his his last 5 fight record looks good too. He's won 4 of his last 5 fights, but he's more of like a knockout, right? Beat the fuck out of whoever he's going to be fighting, and hoping to take the fight early on a KO. He's tough too, also hits hard, and has a lot of crowd support. Though it'll be interesting, right? Because being that Wood is from the UK, I'm not sure how the audience will play out for Charrier. For me, this was probably the toughest of the 4 for me to pick. Um, I did decide to pick Wood as the underdog because I think with the hometown audience advantage and his ability to keep fighters at bay, I think that he'll be able to potentially tire Charrier out, go to a decision, and take the win. So I am locking in Wood for my pick. All right, brother, over to you.
All right, so just like what you said, this one was a pretty difficult pick, actually, very difficult pick. From what I know so far, Charrier is the type of person that is very, very upfront and personal. He likes to swing a lot. He's got a disgusting right hand, and
Yes. Oh,
very disgusting right hand. But what I do like about Wood, and of course, he's a fellow Englishman. Of course, I'm gonna support a fellow Englishman. Of course. But what I like about Wood a lot in this fight is that he's very He can get tactical if he wants to. He can get very
agreed.
tactical, and he's not so much of a headhunter as Charrier is. So long if Wood can keep him at bay, and so long he can keep him away with those leg kicks as well, and just keep him at bay. He's not super famous for his leg kicks, but he's good at it enough to kind of keep them at bay and keep them distracted that there is going to be a kick coming if they get too close.
Yeah.
So for this one, of course, this one was a hard one. I also got Wood on this one. I have to choose Wood on this one. Yeah. I want Wood to win, but it's a scary fight. It's a very scary fight.
I, I agree. You know, there are sometimes it's really funny. So I don't I don't bet a lot of money on UFC, right? I generally what I play the most money on is American football, right? As a sports bettor. That's where I tend to put most of my money. I'll bet some soccer or football, right? Depending on where you're from. But I'll also do some basketball. I don't tend to put a lot on um, MMA and UFC fights because I honestly think that the lines are generally pretty good that come out of Vegas for a lot of the fights, right? This this is not a fight I would put any money on, right? And my confidence in picking Wood, I I'm 100% with you on this, Kiba. I think that he is strategic. If he can keep Charrier at bay, he stands a good chance of winning, possibly by decision, right, and going the length of the fight. I think that um, Charrier is nasty. He hits really hard, but I also don't think he's not. I don't find him to be an incredibly unpredictable fighter. I think if he's against somebody um, who can really keep those close shots away, right? I think fighters can stand to last against him. I also appreciated what you said about really putting those kicks in. I think if Sharia was against a fighter who whose feet never left the mat, then I think it would be a bit of a different story. I think Wood has enough foot skills to, combined with his punches, keep the distance from Sharia, right, and to really keep things pretty close. So I'm feeling good that you're feeling Wood too on this one, and hopefully we'll both be right. So let's head up to the women's strawweight, right? So we've got We've got another UK fighter, right? We've got Molly McCann against Alexia Thanera of Brazil. I'm gonna have you make the first pick on this one, Kiba. What are you
Oh,
thinking?
good. I love this. I love this. I love this. All right, so Molly, of course, but I know her as Meatball. Meatball.
Yep.
Meatball is one of my favorites. So this is gonna be a bit more personal and a bit more. I'm gonna choose my favorite. I love Meatball. I'm never gonna
Okay.
bet against Meatball. I wouldn't want to bet against Meatball, but putting that aside, and let me just be a little bit honest for the viewers and all of that stuff, right? It's gonna be a very dangerous fight. It's gonna be one of the most dangerous fights that she's going to have because Alexia, I think that's her name, her first name,
Yep.
Alexia. She is, of course, from Brazil, and she's got multiple submissions under her name. She
Yep.
is very dangerous, and I have never seen Molly Meatball actually fight a good submissioner and someone that can actually bring her down on the floor, and it will get really dangerous. Molly is not the same way as Paddy. Paddy can do it all.
Yep.
He's good at his feet, and he can submission you anytime if he wants to. Molly is a bit more aggressive. Molly is the type of person you just don't want to stand in front, and she's also very heavy in the hands. So if I have to pick on my pick on this one, right, the smarter person would probably say Alexia, but I'ma choose Meatball all the fucking way because Meatball is gonna get it fucking done with her hands. She's gonna bring it up front. She's gonna make it personal, and of course, she did say she had a bad breath during the stare off as well.
Yep.
So, me knowing her, she's not gonna take that. She's not gonna take that kindly having someone and I have with bad breath speak on her face, so like that. So let's go, Meatball. Do me fucking proud on this one.
I love it. I love it. So, um, here's what I love. I love when fighters with significant kind of experience following in the UFC stage go up against people who are potentially more up and comers, right? Because Thanera is newer, certainly to UFC, right? Been fighting for a while, right? But doesn't have the wealth of um, experience, the background and backing that McCann has. There's a couple things that are interesting for me about this fight. So one, Alexia has a somewhat significant reach advantage. It's like 5 or 6 inches, which is like somewhat sizable. She's also like 5 or 6 years younger. And I'm one of those people who, when thinking about fights, really does take age into account, right? So, Kiba, I don't know how old you are, right? But I'm 45, right? And so I can tell you, if you put me in the octagon against a 30-year-old, right? Those 15 years would make a significant difference, even if I was a better trained fighter than somebody who is 15 years younger. So I do like to pay attention to age. It doesn't always factor in. I don't know if 5 or 6 years is that big a difference, but there is always, in my book, a slight advantage to the person who has the added endurance, added kind of body health of a younger fighter, right? So I throw that out there too. Um, Both of them have had amazing fight careers. Both of them are incredibly tough, right? I do think that Thanera, as someone who's up and coming, has already in her career managed to build some pretty solid versatility and wins, right? I think one of the things that sometimes happens to fighters is they get marked as fighting via a certain approach or style. And I think if you're an opposing fighter, once you can read somebody, it becomes very, very easy to respond to them, right? It's like if you're playing baseball, right, or let's say soccer or football, and you're going up against a keeper who you always knows looks a certain direction first, right? You can adjust the way you take that shot to respond to that. So what I like about Thinera is that I've found her to be pretty versatile in her win approach and style. Um, I I think that this will be a really interesting fight. I think if Thinera wins, then it really suits her to have a really nice progression in her career over the course of the next year, 2 years or so. I think if McCann wins, it further shows that she is like a superstar UK UFC fighter, right? Now, I will say I don't have the personal connection to McCann. So for me, I always love taking the up and comers, right? I always love putting my backing behind those who are showing that they're really kind of moving into a new space, right? And for me, I'm throwing my pick behind Thinera
Whoa,
on this one. Right now,
whoa.
I know I don't. Again, this is like I. This is another fight where I felt that I could go in either direction. But I like Thinera's style. I like what she brings to the table. I
I have,
am
I have a
all
question. I
in.
have a question. I have a
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
I have a question then. Do you think, especially because she hasn't had too many fights and she's going to a bigger stage like this, yeah, with someone that is very, very, very experienced, wouldn't you think that it's going to kind of push her back a little bit in the fact that she's going to be in a bigger stage. She's not going to be in her hometown. She's in a disadvantage in crowding and everything like that as well. So don't you think that's going to play a big part of how she's going to perform on stage as well?
So it's such a good question. So yes, I do think that's a factor. Here's the other thing, right? This the odds on Thinera, okay, the way Vegas sees it, they're giving Thinera around 250 odds in her favor. Now, that to me also suggests that despite her not playing to a home advantage, and despite McCann playing to a home advantage, Vegas is thinking something that I don't know. And so, one of the things that I also like to do a lot of times with UFC fights, particularly if there's a fighter from that hometown who is on that card, I look to see how the odds are impacted. And this one is interesting to me because uh, Vegas is not reacting as if that audience element will draw a lot from McCann. So I hear you and I agree. I think that for a newer fighter, I mean, they're going to be at like the O Arena, right? I mean, this is like a big stage, right? I um I think it does make a difference, but there's something there that's telling me to put my backing behind Alexia. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'm this would again. I don't know if I'm going to put any money on this fight, right? But for purposes of let's fucking go, that's it. I'm behind Alexia. Let's go. Brazil, baby. Brasilia. Let's go. All right. So up we go to our welterweight. And by the way, if you are just joining, if you're listening, welcome. Please get your picks made. dap.spredict.io. We want you to give our DAP a try. Super easy. Have fun. No cost. Here we are talking a little bit about the welterweight fight between Iceland's own Gunnar Nelson and Kevin Holland of the U.S. Nelson 19-5-1, Holland 26-13-0. Holland is a bigger fighter in the sense that he's taller, about 4 inches taller, and he's got a 9-inch reach on Nelson. 9 inches, right? Uh, Reach isn't everything, of course. That It's all about how fighters use it, but 9 inches is a lot, man. The line is fairly even, which is also interesting, right? Vegas. I'm just taking a look right now to see if there's been any updates. No, they've got this as basically an even fight, right? So Vegas is not seeing anything in favor of either fighter. My guess is, looking a little bit at Nelson's kind of record over time and his fight style compared to maybe Holland's advantages that he brings in physically. Nelson's a tough fighter, but he has not fought, I think, since 2023. So he's had about a year break in there. He's also been a really streaky fighter. Sometimes I love when fighters, at least from the betting and prediction standpoint, I love when fighters hit a stride, either a significant number of wins, right? Really feeling like they're in the zone, or from the predictor standpoint, I'm cool too if fighters are on a string of losses, right? It helps me make decisions as to where I want to go, because in fighting, sentiment plays a big role, right? Kiba, you were talking about, McCann and Thinera, and talking about like someone's breath, right? And how that plays a big role. There's a lot of psyching out that happens in the MMA space, right? And in fighting in general, boxing is very, very similar, right? And so fighters' records, their sentiment going into the fight, how often they've been in the octagon recently plays a big role for me. Holland, though, has lost 4 of his last 5 fights, right? It's not been a great string for him. It's 4 losses in less than 2 years. I think he's a great fighter, but it seems like it's been hard for him to get right for the last couple years. He had a crazy win, his last win, where he broke the guy's arm. I mean, that was nutty. I mean, I was watching it and I was like, oh, right. It was nuts. I don't. Here's where I stand on this fight. I don't have a good feeling about either one of them. Actually, if I could pick both of them to lose, I think I'd be happier with that selection. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go with Nelson, and for a couple reasons. One, I think Northern European fighters, as well as fighters tied to what was previously like the Soviet Union, are some of the toughest fighters out there. I mean, I think these guys can take anything. If you are living in those conditions, I mean, they could be like fighting bears and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I think of Ivan Drago from Rocky 4. Like, these guys are like crazy. They're super built for this fighting. And I do think Nelson is a little bit, maybe technically, of a better fighter too. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if the fight goes in some weird direction and Holland has like a crazy win. So I am going to lock in my pick for Holland, but I'm sharing openly that I don't. Oh, I'm sorry, for Nelson, but I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about the direction of this fight. So I'm just throwing that out there. All right, bro, over to you.
All right, so this one, and I'm going pretty much almost the same direction with you. Well, not with my picks, but the same mindset direction that you're saying right now. So we have Nelson. Nelson, as you said, he's a fighter that will come out of the blue and then disappear for another year or two, or have 2 fights in a year and then disappear again and this and that. For what I know so far about him is that he is a tough fighter, very tough fighter. He knows how to take hits. He knows to go aggressive, and he's a very legit fighter in that aspect. However, that does play a role, and he doesn't have the best streak right now, currently at this moment right now. Now there is Kevin Holland, and this guy pisses me off
I
so
know.
much.
It's
because
crazy.
Kevin Holland, and I say this to everyone, he's got the skill set to be a great fucking fighter.
An amazing fighter.
He's got great hands. I've seen him throw hands. He's got great hands. Great. He knows how to engage space. He's good at movement, very sleek at movement. Of course, when he gets into a cage with someone like Venom Page, that is a bit more annoying, that likes to
Yeah.
do distance and shit like that, or he gets in a cage with someone like Kamzat or some shit like that and gets totally ragdolled or so, or
Yep.
any grappler, he has a habit to give up and talk
Yep.
shit. And I hate that. I fucking hate his mentality when he give up. Fucking hate it. So, in my opinion, if it's a pure stand-up game, yes, pure stand-up, yeah, I will go with Holland. I will go with Holland on this one. But as soon as it's too much pressure, as soon as it goes on the floor, then it's GG's. I'm done. Then I
Yep.
know Nelson has got it's in his mind and it's done. As soon as he starts talking shit, he knows he's losing. That's it. But if I'm picking on it, and I am putting money on every single bet that I'm doing right now, every single one of
Nice.
them, right?
Nice.
I'll put it on Holland. Kevin
Wow.
Holland better make me fucking proud in this one because I will get
Holy
angry.
shit.
Better make me proud.
Wow. So I have to tell you, Holland, I'm so glad to hear you say that because there are some fighters who I wish would just get out of their own heads, right? It's like how it's like you watch those players who you sometimes say like and not just in MMA, right? In any sport where you can just say like he's gonna fuck it up. He's just gonna fuck it up, and not because they're not skilled, but because they can't seem to manage themselves in a way that lets their skills either win the fight, you know, uh, nail the shot, score the touchdown, and it makes me crazy. In fact, I get frustrated by these athletes more than the athletes who don't have the skills because I say, listen, you know that you can win this fight, right? And yet, this is a great example, right? Vegas just says, I don't I don't fucking know, right? Because you know that he's got these physical advantages. You know he can fight, but you just don't know whether he's going to keep it together long enough to win. And that makes me crazy. And I will say, listen, I'm gonna clap for you for putting money on this fight because woo, I that I love it. You are a risk taker. I love that.
But
But
the only reason I like to put money in it, right? It makes the fight more enjoyable to watch.
of course.
I promise you, if you are in the same room as me when I'm watching fight nights with my boys and this and that, I am screaming.
You're screaming. I know. I
am
love doing
screaming.
it. Me too. It's so much fun. And that's why, that was one of the things too behind Spredict. I'm very fortunate. I have a bunch of good friends that love to gamble, and my wife does too, right? So when we go, if we're going to a casino, if we go into the sports book, right, I'm never doing it just by myself. I'm never just going in and placing a bet. I'm always doing it with friends, right, or with my wife. And so I'm like you, man. I am screaming at the screen, right? I'm cheering with people, and then I'm like laughing at people if my picks are good, right? I hope we'll see. I hope that I come out ahead in these picks because I'm gonna be responding to you on X with a bunch of gifs, man, and having a blast. We'll see though. Who knows? Who knows? All right. So here we are. The main event, the welterweight between the the first English and the colonies. Here we are, right? It is Leon Edwards from the UK, 22-4, a fantastic record, taking on Sean Brady from the US, 17-1. Woo! These two, and this is just my take, Kiba. This is the type of fight where whoever wins this fight, this should propel them right on a pathway towards an excellent, hopefully, next few years. And so, you want to start? You want? Yeah. Why don't you go first? Let's have you go first on this one.
So, this is so. I have so much to say on this one. So, let me start with Brady. So, Brady, 17-1, crazy fighter, very serious fighter, very fucking serious fighter. He is a very good at knockouts. He's got very good submissions under his belt as well. He does get into a couple of decisions here and there, but he is known to bring the pace. He is known to come straight forward. He's a heavy hands, heavy hitter. I do like his attitude and I do like the energy that he brings. The only thing I would say is that sometimes he gets a little too cocky, and I find him sometimes a little bit too stiff. A little bit too stiff here and there when he comes and moves. However, very great guy, very strong movement. I have pretty much not too much to say about him on that aspect. Now there is Leon Edwards. I have a love-hate relationship with Leon Edwards. I have a
I
love
think
hate
a lot of people do.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with Leon Edwards. So if Leon Edwards ever see this, Leon Edwards, I respect you. I don't want no fight with you, right? But you can be a very boring fighter sometimes. I swear to God, you are such a boring fighter. You also have somewhat of a giving up mentality at some point when stuff is not going your way. However, your coach, you have right people behind you to keep pushing you, and I respect that. I respect that you don't really give up till the end. And yes, the only two difference between Brady and Edwards right now is that Leon Edwards is right. It has been fighting top contenders right now, very top contenders. His last fight was with Bilal. Bilal is not a guy that you can fuck around and mess with right now. I'm pretty. Wait, did Bilal had a fight with Brady before? Yeah, they did, huh?
Hmm.
They,
Yep.
yeah. So they had a fight before as well, and
And they
Bilal.
both lost. I think they both lost to him, right?
No.
No,
Bilal won. I just checked.
no,
Bilal.
no. Bilal, I think, beat both of them,
Yeah,
didn't?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bilal is right now probably laughing on the side, thinking, okay, my kids are fighting, whatever, right? However, right? Edwards has been. Maybe I'm a little bit too harsh with Edwards saying that he's a boring fighter because he's very slick on his feet. I fucking love how he fights. He's very smooth. He knows how to move. He knows how to maneuver. He knows how to and throw kicks, and he's very smooth with it. He has got the determination, and I really think he's one of the best fighters right now that we have right now, right?
Agreed.
But I might be a bit more harsh on him because he's been very boring most fights. All of his fights has been mainly going on like 5 rounds and all of that stuff and this, that, right? But of course, look at the contenders he had to fight. He fought Usman the Nightmare twice. He fought what is that American annoying guy called again? Cole and Covington. The last he fought Covington, and then of
Yep.
course of course Bilal. If
Right.
I would have to pick on this fight, yeah, I would think Brady has actually the upper hand on this one.
Hmm.
Brady is going to give him too much to handle. I feel like Brady is also going to take advantage and take him down out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's going to play a big part where it's going to play a little mind game on him as well. He is shorter. He does definitely got less of a reach, and that's going
Yep.
to force him to kind of be a bit more pushy towards Edwards. If Edwards can keep his distance, if Edwards plays the same game that he did with Usman twice, the second match with Usman,
Yep.
the second match, and he plays the same game as well with Covington, the fight that he did with Covington, he's got the upper hand. And if I would have to put my money on this one, fuck, I want to go for my English man because I'm English myself, right?
Of course.
But Brady might do it. Brady might actually do it, and I'm sad about that. I'll put it on Brady on this one. I'll put it on Brady. But Edwards, if you win, I want you to win. I want you to win. I want you to win. But on this pick, I think Brady's gonna do it. I think Brady's
Yeah.
gonna do it.
it would be hard for me to add anything different to what you shared. I'll throw some additional thoughts out there, but ultimately you should know I'm going with Brady on this one. I am going to put some money down on him, not just because he's American. I know Americans love Americans, but because I honestly think that when you look at the two fighters for this fight, that Brady will come out on top. And so I think for a lot of the reasons you shared, but just to add, and I'm with you. I don't think this is. I think this is less a case of being negative about Edwards and more a case about, given the current situation, the two fighters who are facing off each other, Brady having enough of a advantage for me to select him and put my money there, right? So it's not a dig on Edwards. I mean, Edwards is a fantastic fighter. He's proven it. He gets how to fight. He can hit hard. He knows how to move. He's smart. So all of those things. What I think in this case, and you hinted at it when you were talking, I think this is a case where Brady's ability to take down, right, to get to Edwards is going to be the difference maker. Brady is a takedown machine. Not only is he really effective, but the dude is like a tank. I can't remember who he was fighting, but he fucking lifted this other fighter off the mat and fucking threw him down. I mean,
Was
it was crazy.
I thought that was with what was it? It wasn't Gaston, man. I don't think it was Gaston.
Um, Let me see. I had maybe it was Gilbert Burns. Maybe I don't remember. But it was. I mean, he fucking these guys are. He lifted him off the mat and threw him to the ground.
And that's not
Right.
easy. That's not easy to do.
Right. So I believe. I mean, again, both great fighters. I cannot deny Edwards' experience against top fighters in the game. And maybe if their fights against Bilal had gone differently, it might shift my thinking. But I just see Brady being able to capitalize to bring Edwards down to the mat and to really take advantage of that. And I think that's going to be tough for Edwards to deal with. I don't really see. I hope, but I do see it as being a competitive fight. But I think, given the takedown side, I could see Brady winning with a unanimous decision at the end of the fight. And so I'm going with Brady again. This has generally been a great card because Vegas gives Brady a slight edge, but it's not big, right? So I appreciate that this card has been fairly even with the picks, but I'm going Brady. And so my picks, and I want to make sure I've got yours too, Kiba, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to write them down, man. I'm going to put it down to paper. I'm going to post it in the abstract chat so that we know who our picks are. But I've got Wood, I've got Thinara, I've got Nelson, and I've got Brady. And I think you've got Wood, you've got McCann, you've got Holland, and you've got Brady. Is that right?
Yeah, two differences. There's only two differences.
All right. So hold on. I'm going to validate my prediction. I'm going to lock it in, right? So for those of you using the DAP, right, you go to validate down on the bottom. You'll have a little approve transaction button. You'll click that. It'll lock you in. And then if you want to make sure your picks are locked, right, it's on the blockchain. You can't do anything about it, right? You can just refresh, right? Scroll down, see your picks in, and I am locked. Here we fucking go.
Go.
Let's make it happen. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. So let me do that. So amazing. Here we are. We've got fight night coming up a little bit later today. Kiba, I wish I was hanging with you so we could go back and forth and just fucking cheer each other when we win or lose. Um, but amazing, right? Great picks. Going to be a great fight night. Kiba, I want to thank you for joining, sharing what you're doing with the hub, sharing your picks. Anything you want to share with any current listeners, future listeners? Yeah, want to share out socials or things for people to kind of be prepped for as you continue to build?
All right, so quick one. Um, quick share to everyone that's new coming into the Web free space and everyone that is already here in the Web free space. I know that we're going through a tough scenario right now with the run not going as we hope to. I know that the market is not looking as well as it would be what we all expected. I know with all the issues that it was happening with the United States, Donald Trump, having his issues and with all the tariffs going on, and we had a Senate conversation happening also last week, I believe, as well. Um, I would say don't look too much into the market. Touch some grass. Enjoy in the real life season right now. The market technically has not died yet. We only had a small dip. We might have a bigger dip. Look, I'm not going to say that we're going to go all up from here as well, but we might get another dip coming soon as well, and we might be still on the red for a few couple of months. However, crypto has changed a lot these last couple of years. Crypto has become more bullish. A lot more countries and a lot more nations are actually looking into crypto. A lot more states as I actually started opening up crypto in their whole fucking economy, etc. I believe Texas was one for the United States that actually started opening their crypto laws and everything around that. So there's a lot of cool bullish stuff happening in crypto right now, and I would consider you guys to at least touch some grass and look into other stuff that's happening into crypto right now. Of course, everyone that is new into crypto and new into investing will always think buying low, selling high, and this that. But there is so much other stuff that you can do in the crypto space. Make a name for yourself, build something, network with people. There is so much other stuff that you can do in this space. Abstract is doing a whole fucking stream thing right now that you can kind of participate in, and there is more than just there's money to be made besides just buying and selling stuff. So I would consider everyone to just take a few steps back, look at what you can do in the space, build something in the space, make a name for yourself in the space, because at the end of the day, a bear market will come at some point. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe in a year, whatever. But there is going to be a bear market. There is going to be a time where shit is just gonna go to shits even more. And you want to position yourself to be making money also in those type of scenarios. There, because there is a bear market, it doesn't mean there's no money to be made, but you have to position yourself now, and that's what's very important. There is a couple of, let me actually announce a couple of stuff. There is a couple of cool and a couple of cool mints happening as well. Mibera is coming up as well. I believe it's Sunday, so Mibera is going to be in a minting pretty soon as well. Very fucking hyped for that project. That's going to be a killing project. Final Boss is also minting very fucking soon as well. That's going to be on Monday. Wagwan Kev, Wagwan Kaito. So thank you for the whitelist. Thank you for the whitelist. Cool project. I'm very into anime as well. Stray Fire is also going to be start pushing off their stuff as well. TGE is coming pretty soon. We're organizing everything. We got big stuff coming out soon as well. Big announcement coming soon as well. We are right now activating a lot of stuff, a lot of partners. We are going to go crazy with the spaces. We got so many cool fucking spaces happening with Ultra, with the team of Ultra, with the team of Spredict. We got a lot of fucking stuff happening in Abstract as well. And the hub is, of course, going to be killing it with their create this program. So please send us a DM, send us a follow, put your notifications up on everyone that is here right now, and especially to the hub. We are going to build our community, build our network. We're going to give more opportunities for builders, more opportunities for people that want to actually grow in the side of the space. Um, Follow me on fucking Instagram if you want to see some funny shit. Me just talking shit about fucking stuff and music and this that. So it's Kiba Joseph. Follow me on Twitter if you want to see some crypto stuff and me talking shit about projects and etc. and so forth. I also got a Spotify if you want to listen to my music. You can do that if you want, whatever. And follow, of course, Fred. Thank you so much for inviting me to this show specifically. Let's do this more often. I actually like it.
Yes,
We're going
yes,
to do
I
this more
love it.
often.
This
I
is
will
what we
do
do. We chat about life. We make predictions, right? We talk about the space. Yeah,
definitely,
I,
definitely.
and Kiba, I want to thank you for giving some time today to join. It's a fantastic conversation. I love what you're doing at the hub. I love your approach to the space. I love your thinking about just helping people see that the space is more than about buying and selling, right? Like, yes, that's a part of it. And there are a lot of other ways to grow network, grow net worth, right? Think about what we can contribute with our own skill sets. So thank you, appreciate that. Um, as Kiba shared, make sure you connect with him, with the work of the hub, with the projects that he shared. Make sure that you're following us at Spredict _IO, me at Fred _Spredict. Make sure you use our DApp. Right now, everything is free to play. Get a feel for it, even if the market is not great, right? It's the best time to build, right? You build during the bear and times of lower returns and enjoy the experience. This is a builder's space. Build, create, use your skills, have fun, get out there, touch grass, connect with people. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks for giving your time. Appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.